Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's the end of January, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know how we lost the month of January. But here's the funny thing. Refis, they're absolutely off the chart. They have surged, right? And in fact, they're higher than the average of the last 3 years. And you might be asking, okay, well, why? Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the metrics of our real estate market, what's happening, how is it affecting our market, are sales increasing, are they decreasing, what's new construction doing, and then, of course, we're going to finish out with foreclosures. Now, again, make sure that you're doing us a solid to help the channel grow. Make sure that you like and subscribe, share the video. There's no marketing here at all. The goal is to get you guys really solid information, really to make a good business decision. The same metrics every single week, so you have that consistency of comparison. And in fact, go back to last October and even the October before that, you'll see, well, it's kind of freakishly accurate, which is kind of nice. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Okay, so what we've got here is a situation where mortgage rates have been artificially brought down. The Fed were authorized to buy $200 billion of mortgage-backed securities. That means that created scarcity on the mortgage-backed securities out on the stock market. Bonds rallied because of it. Interest rates came down. It's slightly artificial. They came down. They dipped into the high fives like we said it would. Whoop, popped back up. In fact, it did exactly what we said. It would go up to about 6.25-ish, and then it started to settle back out again. And again, that's exactly what happened. Will it come down again? There is a possibility that in February-ish, we might see, again, a brief dip. And that is, again, why we're seeing a massive amount of refinances happening. So, unsurprising, here we go. Let's hit the next slide here. It says Mortgage Bankers Association, the MBA, reported that applications rose 14.1% for the week ending January 16th, adding to the prior week's sharp increase. The Refinance Index climbed 20% from the previous week and was 183% higher than the same week 1 year ago. Now, you might be saying, George, what the heck? Well, listen, mortgage rates have the number one impact on real estate, okay? If it costs too much to buy a house, buyers, like what we saw from last year in March, almost through September, we're sitting kind of on the sidelines. Whereas if we see rates come down, the buyers come in, they say it's a good opportunity. They're a little more aggressive on pricing and whatnot, and we're going to go over that. And that is exactly what you're seeing. So when we talk about this, it says intraday 30-year fixed rates dipped just below 6% for the first time in years. That is 100% accurate. We take a look at the chart for the Refinance Index. You can see on the left-hand side in 2023, our Refinance Index was really low. Whereas on the right-hand side, you can see it absolutely jettisoned. It's almost like watching the interest rates in 2023, spring of 2023, absolutely going up when the Feds quit buying mortgage-backed securities. Here you can see that chart because rates came back down. Everybody flocked in. In fact, we got a lot of thumbs up, a lot of thank yous for letting everybody know in the anticipation and doing that one video, even though we had an audio issue, that it was time to refinance, because if you were anywhere in the sevens, you had to refinance. We had hundreds of people that actually ended up getting their refinances started. They locked in some really amazing rates, dropped their payments hundreds of dollars per month. Now, again, you only watch this channel if you are interested in saving money. I'll just tell you that right now. So let's continue on. When we take a look and we go over to what happened with purchases, again, left-hand side, 2023, we have our spike in 2023 because that's when mortgage rates were absolutely going off the chart. Then it dipped down because interest rates went way up. And then, of course, in 2026 on the right-hand side, you can see that we absolutely killed it with the interest rates coming down, and we had a massive influx of people coming in. And you might say, George, what the heck happens? If somebody does this and they do drop the rates, what does that do with the market? Well, let's get into that. So when we come over and we start looking at what the 30-year fixed is, upper right-hand corner, it's 6.16. Still super, super smart to look at making a purchase because this is dollars saved. If we run over and we take a look at mortgage rates and how they've been trending over the last 3 years, you can see how we are heading down and have been in a downward trend with mortgage backs or with interest rates, because right now we are 0.85% lower, almost 1% lower than where we were at last year. Now, 2 weeks ago, we were over 1%. We are still doing quite well year over year. And when we take a look then and we balance that against what's going on, here's a nut. The challenge is we are seeing homes staying on market 17 days longer. That's the lower green chart. 17 days longer on market than where we were at year over year. With that, we're also seeing only a 95% list to sales price. And you might say, okay, what the heck is that, George? Okay, if you list at $100,000 and you sell at $100,000, that's a 100% list to sales price. If you list at $100,000 and you sell at $95,000, it's a 95% list to sales price. We are 2% lower than where we were at last year. But funny enough, when you come back and you take a look at what's going on homes on market versus homes going off market, we're seeing an inverse trend here. Friday, we saw a massive amount of homes coming on market. We had 791. We're normally in the 5s to 6s. We had a massive increase in homes coming on market. But look at the pending, 933, and that is a consistent number. When we're seeing 933 homes going off market on the number one day, 791 coming on market, that is a clear indication that buyers are still very active. They are very aggressive right now. And in fact, the next chart is going to be just super awesome for you guys. So when we walk over, don't forget to subscribe. When we walk over and we take a look at what's going on, look at these numbers. Now remember, this is super important. Remember, interest rates have come down. Our inventory has increased. So when we take a look at the top chart here, look, we have 292 homes that came on more on market year to date. But we've also taken off 480 homes. We're still, again, a significant number of homes going pending versus what's coming on. Sales are about normal. The lower chart was mid-month. At mid-month, we still had a nominal amount of inventory coming on. No change as far as the actual new versus last year. But look at that. We had our solds that were up, and we were 11.3% higher in pending sales. So what we are seeing, again, is that trended period where we're seeing homes come on, but we're taking more off. We've been drawing down that inventory. We've gone from 3 months of inventory down to about 2.5 months. A normal market used to be 4 to 6 months. We haven't seen that in over a decade, more than 12 years, actually, where we have seen the balance between a buyer and seller market really between, I would say, 2.5, 3.5 months. Now, when we come over and we take a look at this again, look at this. So interestingly enough, the average active coming on market is $6,000 less. Super smart, seasonally correct. But our solds are down $16,000 year over year. Now, okay, so let's be real. Just because the average sold price is, $16,000 less than where it was last year, it doesn't mean our values are necessarily coming down. It does hint towards that, but it just happens to be what is selling at that point. Now, again, guys, it is January, okay? These closings we're seeing were December numbers. In February, we're going to see our February numbers. But when we come back and we take a look at what is key, look, inventory is up slightly. Market times are up 17 days on average. Super important for sellers to keep in mind. Sales prices are at 95% or down 2% more than year over year. Homes going under contract, though, they're up 13%. That is massive. That is a massive number that you get to see when we talk about what's going on in the market. Because, look, if we have more homes going pending than we have coming on, that is a positive direction. We're seeing our sold numbers already starting to improve. Those are great figures. The difference is seasonality, and with our market being, I'm not saying our market is absolutely solid. It's a little bit more soft, but it's not a downward trend by any stretch. We are still on that more level playing field. We're more of that flat market, not going up, not going down. And more of the rural area properties, those are the ones that are taking a little bit of a hit. They have to be more price sensitive as people need to stay closer into work, things like that. Now let's compare this to new construction. So funny enough, new construction, let's pull this up. There we go. New construction has, again, continued its path. It looks a little daunting at times when we say, hey, we've got, I'll blow this up a little bit. When we take a look at our solds, they're lagging just a little bit. The chart below, again, from mid-month. Let's go back. When we take a look at mid-month, we were down 44 homes. Now, we're down, 56 homes-ish, something like that, 57 homes. When we take a look at those numbers, we say, okay, well, yeah, George, those are creeping up. Okay, yes, because they are competing with all of the new the existing resale construction that is coming online. But when you take a look at it, mid-month versus today, our numbers are down. They're actually better than what they were before. Okay, so when we talk about why is this happening, we take a look at what is coming online with new construction, what is happening with the interest rates, and what incentives can be offered. Because even on this chart here, the chart on the right, last 2 weeks ago, we were down 8.1% as far as actual sold price point. They're only down 6% now, so they've actually gained ground. Why? Again, those incentives, and with that, they also have a lot of interest benefit that they can offer as interest rates come down. Obviously, their buy downs have a bigger and better impact, right? So how does that compare to bank-owned homes? Well, it's the same story that we've been seeing for a long time. Bank-owned homes are not a great investment in our area if you're thinking about a discount. Why? Well, because when we take a look at all of our numbers, even last month, the middle chart versus the right, you can see we don't have that many homes at all. And so when we take a look at it, you can clearly see on the right-hand side, hey, we only had 48 closings. Yeah, that's pretty phenomenal. There's only 111 total homes that are on market as REOs. Real estate owned. And you might say, George, that's a lot of homes. No, that's 3/4 of Washington state. That is peanuts. We would have that many homes coming on in a day back in 2008, 9, and 10. So when we take a look at it, that is our overall inventory, that is a small, tiny little number. But here's the funny thing. I guarantee you, there's going to be somebody in the government or elected position that is going to take the numbers and say, oh my gosh, foreclosures are 114% high coming on market. When in the reality, well, that's just 20 homes. And this time of year, 100% normal. Why? Because they don't do anything. They don't start, getting people out of homes in November and December. It's just bad business, and leave them occupied, keeps them safer, and then they wait until the end of January, February, which is exactly what you're seeing here. So with that being said, our market, all things considered, is doing very well. We're, again, very flat. We're not going up. We're not going down. Interest rates are bringing massive amounts of buyers off of the sidelines into the fray, as they say. So if you have any questions, put them down below. Let us know what you want to do. There's no strings attached. We'll give you good recommendations, whether it's just buying a home, if you're looking at new construction, and or if you're looking at foreclosures as an investment. Again, we recommend against that. In the meantime, it's a little wet outside, so be safe, In the meantime, I'll see you on the next video. Have an absolutely great day. Take care.